I'm excited. Like I feel like the energy about our group is really good. I feel like we're prepared for this. I feel like we're ready for it. I think like I said, our team is prepared and ready for the challenge. We know it's going to take every single person on our team, and every single possession is going to matter. I expect the crowd to be incredible.
Picture this. A packed arena, 20,000 7-Eleven screaming fans, and one rookie at the center of it all. That's not a fantasy. That's Caitlin Clark's reality. She just helped the Fever set a WNBA attendance record. But here's the real question. Can she turn those crowd numbers into wins when it matters most? Let's talk about Clark's journey. She went from new kid on the block to record breaker in no time. You know what's insane? She's leading the WNBA in assists per game with 8.4. And that's not all. She's also made 122 three-point, breaking records left and right. That's rookie numbers? More like veteran stats. But breaking records is one thing. Changing a team's entire destiny? That's a whole different ballgame. And Clark was about to step up to the plate in a way no one saw coming. Imagine this. A team that hasn't seen playoffs in 8 years. Now add Clark to the mix. You won't believe what happens next. 8 years without playoffs.
One and done. It's definitely a little different. That's why I think March Madness is like the greatest postseason in all of sports, because if you don't have it one night, like your season's over, and I was on the losing end of that a few times. So I feel like this is a little different in that regard. Just trying to, enjoy the most of it. I think that's what I just keep trying to tell these guys, and including I should try to take the advice myself, is just enjoy.
Always landing lottery picks. The Fever were in a slump that seemed unbreakable. Then Clark showed up, and suddenly, the Fever's offense went from lukewarm to scorching hot. What changed? Let's talk about the Indiana Fever before Clark. They were stuck in a rut, missing the playoffs year after year. It was like watching a car spin its wheels in the mud. Lots of noise, no progress. They kept getting those lottery picks, but nothing seemed to click. Enter Caitlin Clark. She didn't just join the team, she lit a fire under them. You know what's wild? The Fever went from being the 7th highest scoring team last season to the 3rd highest this year. That's not just an improvement, that's a total transformation. But it's not just about Clark. For the first time since 2020.
And when they get a beat, they're going to pick you apart. So we got to be able to give them different looks. We got to be locked in, and we got to be consistent for 40 minutes.
Indiana has 4 players averaging double-digit points per game. That's what you call depth, folks. It's like the whole team leveled up together. Becky Hammon, the head coach of the Las Vegas Aces, called the Fever a 3-headed monster on offense. That's not a compliment you throw around lightly in the WNBA. It means opponents can't just focus on stopping one player anymore. They've got to bring their A-game defense every single night. And speaking of monsters, let's talk about that backcourt. Clark and Kelsey Mitchell are both record holders for three-pointers made in a single season in the Big Ten. Put them together, and what do you get? A nightmare for any defense trying to guard the perimeter. Cindy Brunson, who does play-by-play for the Phoenix Mercury, put it best. She pointed out the exceptional talent in the Fever lineup, highlighting Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell as key contributors. It's like the Fever suddenly found their missing puzzle pieces all at once. But here's the real kicker. Clark's impact goes beyond just her own stats. The Fever achieved the best offensive rating in the league during the second half of the season.
They're playing well together. They're a tough matchup, and Becky Hammon had it right. Like, you can't outscore that team, right? You got to be able to lock down defensively. You've got to be able to give them different looks.
That's not just good, that's championship level performance. You know what's crazy? Clark's got the Fever burning up the scoreboard, but there's a catch. One surprising stat might make you question everything you thought you knew about her game. Is this rookie phenom's Achilles heel about to be exposed? Let's talk about Clark's incredible achievements. She's not just leading the WNBA in assists per game, she's also breaking three-point records left and right. It's like she's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. But hold up, because there's something you need to know. Here's the bombshell. Clark leads the league with 223 turnovers. That's not just a lot, it's the most ever in a single WNBA season. You heard that right, the most ever. It's like she's giving out free basketballs to the other team. Now, you might be thinking, so what? She's still dominating the game, right? Well, not so fast. This turnover issue could be a big problem for the Fever's playoff chances. Imagine this. You're in a tight game, every possession counts, and suddenly, bam, Clark turns over the ball. That's not just a missed opportunity, it's a potential game changer. And get this, Clark's turnover count is 78 more than the second-place player, Alyssa Thomas. That's not just a gap, That's a canyon. It's like Clark's playing a different game when it comes to giving up the ball. But here's where it gets interesting. Clark's been a game changer for the Fever, no doubt about it. She's transformed their offense, made them a playoff team. But in the playoffs, that's a whole different ball game. The pressure's higher, the defense is tighter, and every mistake is magnified. Remember those games against Connecticut? Clark struggled under pressure. It's like the sun found her kryptonite. Now, with the playoffs coming up, she's got to figure out how to keep her superpowers without the turnovers. So, what's the deal? Can Clark overcome this weakness? That's the million-dollar question. If she can tighten up her ball handling, cut down on those turnovers, the Fever could be unstoppable. But if not, well, let's just say it could be a short playoff run. The stage is set for an epic showdown, but there's a twist. Remember how Clark struggled against the Suns' defense earlier this season? Well, now she's facing them in a do-or-die series. With everything on the line, will Clark rise to the occasion or crumble under the pressure? Let's talk about what's at stake here. The Fever are heading into a best-of-3 series against the Connecticut Sun. This isn't just any game, it's Clark's WNBA playoff debut. The pressure's on, and every possession counts. Now here's where it gets tricky. The Sun aren't just any opponent, they finished the regular season strong, crushing the Chicago Sky 85-54 to grab that third seed. That's not just a win, that's a statement. But let's zoom in on Clark for a second. Her performance against the Sun this season? Not great. She shot just 39% against them. That's like trying to drive with the parking brake on. It's not just about making shots though. The Sun's defense is tight, and Clark's got to make smart decisions under pressure. You know what's wild? Clark's likely to be guarded by Dejanai Carrington. This isn't just any defender we're talking about. Carrington's a top perimeter defender, known for her athleticism and physical play. It's like trying to get past a brick wall that moves. So what's Clark got to do? She needs to step up her game big time. We're talking better shooting efficiency and smarter decisions with the ball. It's not just about her individual performance though. The Fever are counting on her to lead the charge. Here's the thing. Clark's performance isn't just important, it's crucial. The Fever's chances in this series, they're riding on Clark's ability to handle the Suns' defensive pressure. It's like she's carrying the whole team on her shoulders. But here's where it gets interesting. Clark's not just any rookie. She's the one who turned the Fever's season around. She's broken records, set new standards. The question is, can she do it when it matters most? Think about it. If Clark finds her rhythm, if she can outsmart that Sun defense, the Fever could shock everyone. But if she struggles, if those turnovers we talked about earlier come back to haunt her, it could be a short playoff run for Indiana. We're about to find out if Clark's regular season magic can work in the pressure cooker of the playoffs. Will she rise to the occasion and lead the Fever to victory? Or will the Suns' defense prove too much for the rookie sensation? Let's talk about the Clark effect. This rookie didn't just join the Fever, she set the whole league on fire. She's breaking records left and right, dishing out assists like candy, and hitting threes like it's nothing. But it's not just about the stats. Clark's got the whole WNBA buzzing. Attendance is through the roof, and suddenly everyone's talking about women's basketball. You know what's wild? She's not doing it alone. The Fever went from bottom feeders to playoff contenders with Clark, Boston, and Mitchell leading the charge. Here's the thing, Clark's impact goes beyond this season. She's changing the game, raising the bar for everyone. Whether the Fever win it all or bow out early, one thing's for sure, women's basketball will never be the same. Clark didn't just break records, she shattered expectations. And that's a game changer for the whole sport.